No, we are going live now. Amasoro. It's a beautiful song. And guess what, guys? You won't believe it. In as much as they follow that guy, they fight. That Olo Bogboro song is one of my favorite songs. I know. Even funny thing is, I don't even have anything with the guy. I just want him to answer some questions. Why is this like this? Why is this like this? Why is this like this? As usual, it go turn on to rough.
The reason is anybody will turn arguments into when they don't have any substance, there's no defense. They are just exploiting people. So what do you expect?
We don't find the guys because I ask question for church.
Yeah, guys, please.
Somebody will now tell me that if I'm not a Christian, I won't even make heaven in the first place. So what happens to the Muslims, to the Buddhists, to the over 5,000 religions of the world? How some people Christianity in the country might be on heaven. Telling me that all the likes of Ogunde Fela will be in here just because they didn't practice Christianity.
The people that died before Jesus came, they are going to. All the Buddhists in China, they are going to.
I can't use this. They don't tell me I know they use studio. But I don't know which one they go through.
To do what?
What do you want to do?
I'm going to film my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
You know, used to give.
They tell you.
Jimmy Disu.
I
don't know Jimmy Disu. We will do program for Classic FM.
You know why I mean at the positive Joshua? I don't think
the guy said don't dimension us. Yeah, I don't die, that is face, blah blah tighten.
Tell me Salam is not talking to me. Why don't you told us?
I do film Salam now critic from time.
But you don't get the audience.
Not saying you don't get the audience. You know take calm like passion. It's journalist, so he writes for Punch. So if you read all his articles, most of his articles, you know that this one.
Alright, so let's do. Hi guys.
I just take your face.
Share so that we can do commercials. I won't enter into 11 too much. I won't do much. I won't need more than 15 straight minutes. Let's go. Guys. Hi guys, how's everyone? I'm sorry today I wasn't really up for the preaching because I've been going through a lot. A lot of people don't want me on the radio and they're working very hard to make sure you guys don't see me on the radio. So please forgive me for any delays. But I'm still going to preach today for maybe 10 minutes. I want to talk about owning your own mind. That's the theme for today. I really wish I had more time. I really wish I could have, been with you earlier. I was here, but I wasn't here in the spirit, which was my greatest problem. So we're going to go live now. No, I'll start it as we're going now. All right. So own your own mind. It is 96.9 Cool FM. Welcome to Praise Jam on a Sunday morning. It's been a very difficult Sunday morning, and a lot of people do not want, a lot of people don't want me to preach, and they're working very hard to make sure I don't preach. So it got to me, and unfortunately, it takes a lot to stand before a congregation, even if it's an online congregation or a radio congregation, especially when you see so much going out against you. But nonetheless, I'm going to teach for a few minutes, and the theme for today is own your own mind. You see, when you were born with a gift. It's called the mind. And it's very sad to see that slave trade in 2017 is still very much alive because people own other people's minds. So as we approach 2018, I want you to go to whoever it is that took control of your mind and ask them to give you your mind back. It could be a politician, it could be a religious leader, it could be your husband in the home or your wife that has suppressed you or tried to tune you into a certain light that is contrary to your personal belief system. And your mind has begun to be tuned in that direction. I want you to look at someone this morning and tell him, I need my mind back. Who's with me this morning? I need my mind back. Now, not only are you going to say it, I want you to mean it. I saw the whole hula baloo that we have rising from the whole Libyan issue, and I realized from the understanding of the subject at hand, from the interpretation of it, and from the reaction to it, a lot of people didn't own their own minds. And I realized that the greatest gift is for us to be born again. And when you're born again, you're born with a brand new mind. We're going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be taking this one step further. Please stay with us. Hi, guys. I'm so sorry. This is not my usual me. I hope by the grace of God next week I'll be better. I hope by next week I still have a job, because that's how far they're ready to go. And they want me to, a lot of people want me to back down. But with the poverty, with the crime, with the pain I'm seeing, I think the sacrifice has to be made to make sure we don't let our children become slaves. Slaves of the mind or slaves of the body. We have to be born again and be like children. I want us to go to the Bible. Please forgive me, guys. I'm a bit slow today. I think I'm going to be in a better mood later on today, so I would announce when I'm having a session. So maybe then we'll have a session, you know. It'll be live on YouTube and it'll be live on my Instagram. So for those of you how can I support the movement? I think you guys need to start standing up and start telling the people who are trying to stifle me. We've got, apart from the pastors, of course, who are doing it from the back, we have people who are in support of these pastors, and they want to put pressure on me, you know. All right, are we good? All right, let's go. I'm going to try to get my energy back. Let me do this. Okay. I'll delete it. It's not really working. We'll do it again later. Yesterday is 96.9 Cool FM. Praise Jam on a Sunday morning. And today I'm speaking on owning your own mind. I want you to go with me to the Bible right now. Get a Bible. And we're going there. Luke chapter 2, verse 46. Mark it down. I'm going to try to get some energy today and go in hard for 15 minutes, but I don't think I have any energy to sustain anything more than 15 minutes. So go with me now. We're going in hard. Luke chapter 2, verse 46. Bookmark it. We're coming there. Do you guys have it? Then I want you to go to Matthew 18:3. Matthew chapter 18, and I'm reading from verse 3. I'm going to start from verse 2 actually. He called a little child to him. This is Jesus now. And placed the child among them. And he said, truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Wherefore, whoever takes the lowly position of this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whosoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me. Look at someone beside you, and you need to tell them you've got to be a child. What does a child do? A child absorbs, a child learns, a child asks questions. For those of you who don't believe me, I want you to go with me again. Right now to the book of Luke chapter 4:46 that I told you to bookmark, and I'm reading. After 3 days, they finally discovered Jesus in the temple, sitting among the religious teachers, listening to them, and here's the key, asking questions. He was 12 years old. He was a child. And you see, children are open, children are empty, children want knowledge, children are sponges. They say the easiest time to teach a child a language is before he's 4. Why? Because the assimilating power of the child's brain is at its peak. So if you want to own your mind back, you've got to go back to being a child. And what does going back to being a child entail? It entails unlearning what you have learned. Imagine you have an empty cup, and I've got this drink that I'm holding right here in front of me. If I pour it into the empty cup, what do I have? A cup of this drink. If I have a cup of water, and I pour this drink inside, if the cup of water is full, it will displace some of the water, and what you have left is a mixture of this drink and water. If the cup was half full and I poured this drink inside, you'll have half drink, half water. So until you're ready to totally empty yourself, you cannot fill yourself with Jesus. The best you do is have a bit of Jesus and have a bit of you, or have a bit of Jesus and have a bit of doctrine. I don't know who it is that I'm speaking to this morning, but we're going somewhere. For you to, first of all, own your own mind, you've got to remove everything inside. Pour the substance in the cup away. Pour the milk, the juice, whatever it is away, so you can now fill it with this. I don't know who it is that I'm speaking to this morning, but are you with me? You've got to go back to being that 12-year-old in the temple that's asking questions. Not the grown-up that you are that doesn't question the status quo. They serve it to you, you collect it, and you believe it, and you take it. It's no longer how we're going to work anymore in 2017. And here is why. I want you to go with me. I almost said I want you to go with me to the book of Linda Ikeji. But well, to Linda Ikeji's blog, if you have internet, you could go with me to Linda Ikeji's blog, because there's an article I wanted to talk about, and it's right there in Linda Ikeji's blog. So just type lindaikejisblog.com. I'm waiting for it to load. Yes. So in the book of Linda, which chapter is this again?
Chapter, first page.
Chapter, I think it's going to second page right now. I'm just waiting for my, okay, fantastic. It's loading. So are you ready, guys? I'm going to read this story to you, and I don't know if you would be as heartbroken as I was when I saw it. And I realized that a lot of us do not own our own minds. The story is there. It says, Nigerians and Libyans are doing the slave trade business like they're one big happy family. So all of us are going to our social media. We are cursing the Libyans, whereas it is our brothers that are selling us to them. Why are we cursing the Libyans? Libya in 2011 was bombed by Allied forces, France, the USA. Hillary Clinton was very strong in that place. Bombed for 7 months. The country was in chaos. A country was upside down. Yet we don't buy and sell Libyans in Nigeria, do we? Despite the fact that this country was at war, despite the fact that its president was ousted in a war, despite the fact that it was, when America tells that they are bombing you, they are not joking. No. If America tells that, oh, we bombed them, it's not a joke. It's not. They bomb you. You know that you were bombed. And yet, inside the bombing, we that are at peace. The last time we had a civil war was in 1966, 67 to 70. Abi? Yeah. From my primary school knowledge. And they are selling us as slaves. We have a problem. That's why they don't like me talking. We have a problem. If we have never been at war in the last, from 1970 to 2000 that's 30 years, to 2017, that's for 47 years, we have not known war. Apart from the unrest in the north, the unrest in the Niger Delta area, the unrest here and the unrest there, we've not known full-scale war. And yet they are selling us to people who are at war. We have a problem. And the problem is not the government. I'm sorry. All of you that are going to hate me this morning, it's not the government. Do you know why? Because we are the government. We get the leaders we deserve. One politician the other day was tweeting, in the 90s, in the 60s, the Saudi Arabian royal family came to collect treatment at UCH in Ibadan. And somebody answered him on Twitter. He said, you and your classmates then, what have you turned Nigeria to now? You are still there in power. So it is, every leader was once a citizen. Nobody hatched from an egg. One day, boom, boom, hatch out. I'm your president. No, you came from leadership. From followership and grew into leadership. That's how we have people that did not have slippers and became leaders. Hello? That's how we have people that could not afford to buy form and became leaders. So at one time, they were followers. And you now, you are a follower. So if you emerge as a leader, you are determining the leadership. And if you elect a bad leader, you are determining the leadership. And if you choose not to vote, you are determining the leadership. I know who's with me this morning. The problem is not the leaders. The problem is not the Libyans. The problem is us. Because we do not own our minds. I don't know who's with me this morning. I want to read this story from Linda Ikeji. Let's continue. Earlier this week, It says, 239 Nigerians were returned, and on Thursday, another set of 153 Nigerians, including men, women, and children, arrived from Libya aboard a Libyan chartered flight due to the ongoing slave trade crisis. My question is, what were they doing in Libya? No one's asking that question. What moved them from their homes in Nigeria to Libya? How many Libyans do we have in Nigeria despite the war? Of course, there are going to be a few Libyans, but not to the point where their government has to send an aeroplane to carry them back home. You know what they're doing there? They're trying to cross over to Spain. Italy. In short, Europe. Why? Because Nigeria is so great and wonderful and so blessed. Hello? Answer the question yourself. Why would anyone want to leave Nigeria and go into slavery in Libya? You know why? Because the Lord has blessed us, but we do not understand the blessing. And we do not own our own minds. So the slavery started from here. When we abandoned our farms and went after oil. Slavery. Everybody's going into oil. You don't own your mind. You follow the crowd. A quick break and we'll be right back. Who's with me this morning? I'm not going to do any protest for any Nigerian in Libya until Nigeria is ready to own their own minds, until Nigeria is ready to stand up and question the ones who are the slave masters. What business do I have going to cry for someone who used his own 2 legs to go into Libya? And you are there in Libya. It is the Nigerians, your own brothers, that are selling you. You want me to now go and protest? Protest against what? Where does the protest start? Protest against you that went? Or protest against your brother that is selling you? Then we now turn it around and say it's the Libyans? Please. Please. Be your, you see, Chinese people don't sell themselves. How can we be a nation and hate each other so much? I'm going to round this off. Don't worry, I'm not even going to take phone calls. I'll just round off the message. Yes, it is Praise Jam on a Sunday morning. Look at someone beside you and tell them, own your own mind. As long as someone else defines things for you, that person owns you. You've got to own your own mind. You see, there was a time when the Bible first started in Armenian. Then from Armenian and classic Hebrew, it went into a bit more modern Hebrew of the day. Then it went into Greek. Then eventually ended in Latin. You see, while it was in Latin, only the people who studied Latin could understand the Bible and teach on the Bible. In 2017, there's a Bible for you. Pick it up and you read it yourself. You're not going to die. It's not going to explode in your hands. Read it. Own your mind. Be very careful. Because the slavery that took those people to Libya didn't start in Libya. It started here. Look at someone beside you and tell them the slavery started here. I'm going to continue reading the story. Since the beginning of 2017, this is on Linda Ikeji, by the way, IOM facilitated repatriation, has helped in bringing back 5,578 Nigerian migrants who were stranded in Libya. Okay, what happened? They were on their way from the US. Their plane now broke down in Libya. They are now stranded. That's what I've been stranded before. I went to the UK with the defunct Virgin Nigeria. We landed in the UK and I was coming home and our plane got spoiled, so we're stranded at the airport. I was stranded for 3 days. Eventually, they sent another plane and got us home. That's what I understand by stranded. You know what this stranded is? They were trying to go into Europe illegally. Why? Because they're running from suffering. They're running from poverty. They're running from hunger. And they believe that they're going somewhere. They're going to greener pastures. No wonder they don't want me to talk. I'm going to take this a little further. You see, you look at these people and you don't realize that the seed of slavery has grown into a tree of sorrow in their heads. A friend of mine was talking to one of the people, and the person said, "Leave that propaganda." Say, he still they try raise money to go Libya. Say, once you reach Libya, I go cross to. I look at him like this. You are watching television. If you don't have television, you have radio. If you don't have radio, you have internet. You are seeing what they are doing to your brother. You are saying it's a lie, that you should not mind it, that it's propaganda, that you are still going. Does that person own his own mind? I'm asking you, does that person, someone now in 2017, inside everything that he has seen, he wants to wear his cloth and go to Libya, when they are bringing people home from there by force? Let me continue with the story. Now, speaking to the Punch newspaper, one of the returnees, a 26-year-old Odion Saliu, a hairdresser from Edo State, said she was kidnapped and handed over to a Nigerian who forced her to call her mother. According to her, her mother in Benin paid 200,000, but she was again sold by the same Nigerian for 3,000 dinars, about 794,000 naira. And it goes on. Saliu explained that some Nigerians spoke Pidgin English and some Nigerian languages. She said, when I was kidnapped with others and held for some weeks, the Arabs asked if I wanted to be taken to a Nigerian. And I really said, yes, I was happy that I was going to someone from my own country. But it was a lie. The Nigerian they took me to locked me in a cell and told me to call my mother and ask for 60,000 naira. The man said he would sell me to a connection house if my family did not get the money. I called to inform my mother and the trafficker who facilitated my journey from Nigeria. But the trafficker spoke to them on the phone and told them the amount they demanded was too small. They increased it to 200,000 naira. That's the person that, hey, oh, hold on, break, let's press break. So there's a trafficker back home and there's a trafficker there. So the trafficker there is phoning the trafficker in Nigeria to tell the Nigerian mother that her Nigerian daughter that is a slave in Libya needs more money for her ransom. Well done, Nigeria. Una try. Una can't say make people go they waka for road, they protest. Allah maje. The Nigerian said if I wanted to cross the sea, I had to pay him again. But when we got to the seaside, he sold me again. I have not heard the word Libyan since in this part here too. Anybody heard Libyan? Okay. Another Edo State indigene, they are mentioning their names, Sunday Anyagbumam, left Nigeria along with his wife in April. He said during their 9-day journey through the desert, they were sold twice by Nigerians. According to him, when their Nigerian burger trafficker sold them to another set of Libyan traffickers in Niger, the trafficker sold him and his wife to Nigerians who took them to Saha, Libya, where they were separated in different cells. He added that the Nigerians selling people in Libya are more wicked than many of the Arabs. I have never seen people so heartless as the Nigerians who bought and sold me. If there's anything we're going to protest for this Libyan issue, it is how we're going to free our minds. Because if you look at your brother and all you see is money, how much you can make off your brother, I don't think the Libyans have a problem. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm going to stand on the left side and you guys are going to throw stones at me. But I'm sorry. Because you left Nigeria. The Libyans did not come to Nigeria to come and carry you. It was a Nigerian that took you out of Nigeria and sold you twice along the way. You have not gotten there yet. Then sold you to a Libyan, then bought you back from the Libyan, then sold you again. What are you? Are you a tomato? Are you garden egg that they are selling? How did they talk for Yoruba? You know those people where they hawk?
Okay.
They carry you for head, they hawk you for market now. Your own brother. You know why? Because we don't love each other. If we follow the principles of Christianity and Islam, we will never be where we are today. Never. So I'm sorry, until we're ready to start owning our own minds, until we're ready to start asking questions. And I want to ask a question. How can we have 23,000 registered churches? And there's no one that can make life a bit more bearable for people that are running away into slavery. Are you a slave? You know what makes a slave? He doesn't own his mind. A slave cannot wake up one day in the plantation where he's working and say, today I want to go and visit my which friend. Now the master now go determine what you want to do. The master is the one that determines what you think for you. Anything you think, if it's not in line with the master, you get a flogging. Go and watch 12 Years a Slave. It will help you explain it. Or Django Unchained. God bless you. Kaz from Niger, who is hanging out with me today, by the way. When you watch those, you'd realize what the mind of a slave is. And I pray to you, starting today, that you will not be a slave. And if you've been a slave up until now, you're not going to be a slave no more. I officially round off. I said today's message was going to be extremely short, so I'm going to keep it extremely short. I'm going to round off with the Bible, a prayer, and I'm going to take 2 or 3 phone calls. Just 2 or 3. Let's talk to you guys. Not much. If you've got a Bible, go with me right now to the book of Mark, chapter 12, 30 and 31, and we round off. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. And the second is, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. This is Jesus himself speaking. If you love your neighbor as yourself, you will not slave him. You will not sell him into slavery. Am I making sense to you? If you love your neighbor... Did you see the barbecue they made with some Africans in Libya? Did you see? That's what happens to Nigerians who are sold into slavery. But the slavery didn't start there. The slavery is on here. And until you're ready to free and own your mind, you will continue being an actor in the movie Django Unchained. I officially open up my phone lines now for a few minutes. We're not going to take too much of your time. Just 2 or 3 calls, that's all I need. 2710969, 2711969, 2712969, and 2713969. Hello, good morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, good morning. Please make the calls quick.
I'm really sorry about that, yeah. Dr. Freeze, I really appreciate your analysis on this slave trade issue. And I've always said it, we black people, we don't take responsibility.
Word.
Slavery in general has to do with the local community. Even the slavery that was happening in the 1700s and the 1600s, who sold these people to the white people? Did the white man come to our land and start invading and carrying slaves?
Word.
Hello?
Hello? Another call. Thank you for that call. We're rushing through calls. Please, 10 seconds only. Yes?
Okay. Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
I want to thank you very much, and I want to tell you that a man without quality has no enemy. It is when you have quality that you have enemies.
A man without quality has no enemies. Wonderful.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning. Your final caller.
On what you have said, you're right, sir. And I would like to say this. I've witnessed what I'm hearing now that is happening in Libya.
Were you in Libya?
Actually, I was in Mali, and I traveled up to Agadez and some parts of Libya.
Okay, were you going on your way to Europe, or you just happened to be?
No. I just went on my own for some assignment.
Okay.
So during that trip, I witnessed a lot of things. I saw so many things there. And trust me, sir, it's our own people that is selling.
So you're confirming that it's our own people that is...
It's a big business. It's just like as we have the oil business in Nigeria here, that's how they have that business as their own major means or source of income there. Both the Libyans, Nigerians have companies that are exporting people to Europe.
Hey! When you've run out of natural resources,
yes,
you start to sell your human resource. Le bâton.
Sir, they have, like we have hotels here. It's the way they have, they call it ghetto. So it depends on you. You can choose the one you want to allot you, and then you choose your own gate man. It's the gate man that leads you to Europe.
All right, that's as far as we can go. Thank you so much. I need to leave right now. God bless you all. And let's remember, until we free our minds, we'll continue being slaves. God bless you. All right, guys, I'm going to have a more comprehensive video later on in the evening. You could join me. I'll be live on Instagram. Take care and bless you guys.